Skibidi don't panic podcast. That's
This episode is brought to you by Vanilla Coke. Vanilla Coke. For people who think they're better than regular Coke drinkers. Vanilla Coke.
Vanilla Coke. It's got that vanilla flavor. Get it? Yo, okay, speaking of Coke,
Yeah.
and like
Love
weird
doing
shit.
it.
Love doing it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Every time I get injured, I utilize the rice method. I learned this from this guy, Raphael Xavier, and he said, rest, ingest cocaine every day. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. Thanks, Raph.
I definitely know that phrase because you've said it at least once per pod.
I love that one. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite jokes. Anyway, shut up. No, but Coca-Cola has this thing where it's like Coke and coffee in a can, so it's like carbonated coffee.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I have yet to see it.
I've seen it
in the wild.
I've seen it in the wild. I've tried it.
Okay.
It's an abomination.
Mm.
It's wrong. Like it's very strange. It's like if you poured seltzer water into a Starbucks coffee. You know?
Okay.
Like it's just like very sweet, and there's like it's like I don't know, man. It's got someone's talking about a really strong coffee in the room next to you while you're drinking it because it just tastes like Coke.
Is it no worse than like those coffee monsters?
Coffee monsters are. I will defend coffee monsters to the day that I die.
Really?
Yeah. Because they taste like just like a cold, very milky like latte. You know what I mean?
Huh.
Like they're just as sweet as like a Starbucks or like a Dunkin' Donuts. Like Dunkin' Donuts is like syrupy. Like if you get like a latte or something, it's thick syrupy coffee sludge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's goop.
It's probably the bull testicles that's doing that.
More than likely. But wait, what?
Monster. What?
Oh, in the monster.
In
yeah,
the monster.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra sweet.
Yes.
It's a replacement for stevia, actually.
Interesting.
No.
No.
It's not.
No. Well, yeah, I kind of figured. Anyway. But yeah, they're a weird fucking thing. Speaking of weird fucking things that are happening in the world, Elon Musk is going to be on SNL, which I think is fucking strange. I get it. He's kind of popular. He's kind of kooky, but he's not like a funny actor.
He's
like,
cool. He was on Joe Rogan that one time. He smoked weed.
I smoked a lot of weed. You don't see anyone asking me to be on SNL.
Maybe you should be.
You know, no, I would never be on SNL.
If SNL's watching, just Lorne.
I don't ever want to. This is me looking into the camera. I don't ever want to be on Saturday Night Live. I wouldn't ever want to.
Oh, really?
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it just there's the SNL has some. It's like watching a drunk person play darts. You know what I mean? If they like every so often, they hit a bullseye, but most of the shots confuse me, seem a little bit dangerous, and ultimately leave me in a place of, you made that choice. Okay. There are like eras where I feel like everyone has like an era of Saturday Night Live where it's like,
right.
That's what they like. But, no, ultimately it's like monologues are cool, but that's more about the actor that they get and their ability to captivate an audience. And sometimes they have like really, really good writing teams that, in combination with the actors that they've got, great teams that, like I say, hit these really, really cool bullseyes, at least for me. But a lot of times I feel like I'm you know, wondering when I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah, no, it's definitely hit or miss. Some of them are like incredibly funny, but I think it falls on the writer, how
Yeah,
well it's executed. They have recorded ones that are more like the sort of the like the Lonely Island kind of style,
yeah,
and then they have ones that are more like live sketch based, and those usually aren't as funny. You know, they
right.
kind of require certain things. Like one of them that was funny was like I mean, we don't watch them anymore, but like Louis C.K. had a decent one, and also R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman had a decent one where they played like Jeopardy kind of stuff, but it's like Black Jeopardy, you
Okay.
know. And you know those are decently funny, like live sketches. But for the most part, the funnier ones, at least to me, are the ones that are more like recorded skit, like digital short based.
Yeah,
Um, and those are usually written by a different portion of the cast anyway. Like Pete Davidson,
yeah.
I think is a good writer. Chris Redd, I think is good. Certain writers like Michael Che and stuff are a little bit better and more in tune. And
Hmm.
then they have certain ones that just do well because they have certain actors in them, or they call them players. But that, like, one of my favorite ones is when Harry Styles was on.
Okay.
Um, they did one with like Chris Redd, Keenan Thompson, Harry Styles, and two of the other ones. I forget their names, but it's like two of the white guys who started out as like sub players and then became the full ones, and they're like actually very funny.
Yeah.
Um, but they did a digital short about like a drug ring.
Hmm.
And Chris Redd is like this guy who's like trying to take over the drug ring from the guy, but he actually doesn't have any knowledge. I don't want to explain a sketch because it's never funny to explain a sketch, but it's
Yeah.
actually very funny. It's actually done very well. Um, and then of course, when you have a guest that like really sort of takes on the part and isn't kind of just like I'm above this or I'm not awkward enough for this,
Hmm.
or acts too awkward about it. Like obviously, like Donald Glover was like really good.
Yeah.
What's his name is usually really good. He's been on there
I
like
haven't
three
seen it,
times.
but
Daniel Craig is like
hmm.
really good. You know,
Gotcha.
certain guests are like better. I have a weird feeling that Elon Musk is not going to blend particularly well with the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole thing going on right now where like Lord Michaels, basically there was a petition by the cast to be like, yo, don't make us work with Elon Musk. We don't want to work with Elon Musk. And so now it's like they're just like, well, if you don't want to be in this week's episode, you don't have to. And it's like half the cast,
Right.
you
Ew.
know.
That's crazy.
I mean, a lot of
That's
people don't like him.
Yeah. No, of course. I mean, I didn't even. I mean, good on them. Good. Go SNL cast.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, there are some really like fucking funny comedians on that show. Who
I'd
like.
say there's a good number of them that are like there's a portion of them that are probably like liberal Democrat,
Hmm.
which is kind of what NBC is anyway, and sort of what the program is. But
Yeah.
then, of course, just given the age of certain members and sort of the way that things are trending, all that, there's definitely like some pretty based players on there that obviously like aren't very out there in the programming,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
like you can tell based on his stand up that Michael Che is like pretty far left, like
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think Colin
And
Jost is too, based on like his social media and stuff.
I, I'm not gonna lie. I know who Michael Che is, but Colin, who?
Colin Jost is the person who does Weekend Update with Michael Che.
Oh, he's funny. I've
Yeah,
seen
he's
clips
actually a
of those
decent
two.
stand up, and he's married to what's her name,
Weekend
Scarlett
Update.
Johansson.
Nice. Good for
Yeah,
him. Cool. Good for them. I was gonna say Weekend Update is definitely one of the like skits that has always held up to me. Like
yeah.
it's always fucking funny.
Yeah,
And
even
like,
Seth Meyers was like decently good in a sort of like weird,
oh, Seth Meyers is
awkward
great,
white
dude.
guy kind of way.
Oh no, Seth Meyers is lovely. He's yeah, fucking no. He even his like show now is still he's pretty sharp. You know what I mean? But
He's late night right now, I think,
just
right?
last yeah,
I
and
think he does late night.
honestly, like yeah, no, he does late night, and he's like pretty. It's like I would say he's like a slightly lighter John Oliver. Or like a
Yeah.
dad joke John Oliver, where John Oliver is kind of like your raunchy drunk uncle.
And say I think one of the like really likable parts about Weekend Update is that they write each other's jokes. So
Yeah, I've seen
occasionally the
that.
other one will have them say something that's kind of offensive toward like the other one's
Right.
race, and it's like there's times where like Colin Joe's just like, I can't say that. Like,
It's funny as shit. Yeah. No, I'm just laughing at that. That's funny as hell.
oh man, my allergies are going crazy.
Don't die on me, man. We can't. We're only
Ugh.
like 13 minutes in. If you die, I'm gonna have to like fill this with air while you rot.
All right, yeah. So I mean,
They write their own jokes, or they write each
uh,
other's jokes. We were talking about that for a second.
yeah, and then yeah. So Elon's supposed to be on there, which sort of leads into this whole sort of fanaticism lately about Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of funny. Like, crypto. So it went from like engineers and like software programmers to being like into crypto to being like regular business dudes being into crypto. Now
Hmm.
it's like everyone's into crypto. They're like, oh, I have to download Coinbase. I gotta get into crypto. Blah blah blah. Like, it's too much. It's too much. People are just sitting there trying to figure out like how the fucking blockchain works, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
And now there's NFTs, and which is a
yeah,
whole new fun thing. But I also think there are some interesting things about like crypto, where like there's this thing that my roommate who's really into crypto was telling me about called like Banano. um, and like the community essentially like Banano's worth nothing, and they just keep giving each other bananas for like making memes about Banano, or like making being like, oh hey, I celebrated this today, and someone's like, okay, here's a bunch of Banano. And the idea is just like community building. But he was telling me about another one where it's essentially funded by people doing fold at home, which is I think a semi-public, semi-private program where people allow. They used to be able to do it on like PlayStation 3s, where essentially part of the computing power of the PlayStation 3 would be dedicated to fold at home, doing these equations that essentially folded proteins to then essentially do grunt work for scientists. And these like folded homes would eventually lead to scientific discoveries. And that's like one I can't remember the crypto, but like some crypto is backed by that type of shit, which I think is kind of interesting. But like for the most part, stuff like Dogecoin feels to me like the long con of some sort of like Nazi scam. Like the dude, like I don't know, dude. There's a lot of like Doge like Nazi memes, which is weird, and I don't really want to get too into memes today. But we're gonna have a meme discussion, and it's gonna sound insane. Like I'm gonna be the Charlie meme. It's gonna be great.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I think there's just a correlation between the kind of people who like use Reddit and the kind of people who like are part of like finance Reddit, who are also like, you know, libertarian, conservative, fucking, pro capitalist, which kind of, they tickle, they play footsies with the alt right, so it's like, I mean, it's kind of a similar base there, but like the part that's like fresh. I mean, I don't claim to be some sort of expert. I'm not some finance guru, but just like everyone being into crypto and suddenly trying to become like some kind of like finance entrepreneur advisor about crypto. Everyone's talking about it on Facebook now, and I'm just like, it's not that cool, you guys. It's like it's really not. Like I have some Doge because I liked the idea of buying like a crypto that is a yeah, a meme, a joke, like it started out as a joke, and that's the idea as to like why it's like skyrocketing right now is because Elon has been like, well, wouldn't it be funny if the currency that was made to be a joke becomes the real currency, right? And he's just like, send it, to the moon or whatever. So everyone's like, I gotta get in on Doge, and the problem with Doge is it's not really backed by anything. So it's not like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin and all them, where like they have real world value. your Doge doesn't really sort of carry that kind of weight. So it's like, I don't. I would love for it to hit like $100. I would love if it did like Litecoin and hit $100, because I'd have a lot of money then because I have like 8,300 Doge. But like,
Why do you have so many Doge?
I spent $50 when it was like a sixth of a cent.
Wow.
Like, yeah, that's I didn't put a real investment into it, but like, it's allegedly supposed to hit $1 on Sunday when Elon goes on SNL and mentions it. Which means I'm just gonna take all my money out of that and wait for it to and back in. But yeah, I would love if it hit like $100. Will it ever? Probably
So wait,
not.
if Doge hits $1, you would effectively have $83,000.
I would have 8,300, not
Eighty
83,000.
three hundred. Sorry, I didn't math correctly.
If
Um,
it hit
but
$10, I would have 83,000.
that's
And
that's
then
crazy,
if it hit $100, I'd have 830,000.
dude. You could buy a giraffe with that kind of money.
I could buy a giraffe. I wouldn't buy a giraffe.
I'm not saying that you would. You're too practical to buy a giraffe. All I'm saying is that the first thing that came to my mind was buying a giraffe, and I am into it.
Yeah,
Um, so
but it just feels like, this is it's just the new thing that everyone's talking about. All those people who, on my Facebook I'm friends with in like the b-boy scene who definitely didn't major in finance are just like all into crypto and being like investing this, doing that in my portfolio, and I'm like, you're not doing any of that shit.
a lot of it, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of essentially it's a lot of gambling, and you know, like it's just placing bets on shit, and some people are in the know of where those bets are going to get placed, and some people just have the ability to like if you have a big enough safety net, you can make enough bets that like one of them is going to pan out.
Yeah.
You know,
Or it's like
um,
the fucking Wall Street Bets subreddit that artificially skyrocketed GameStop. It's
yeah,
not some real, like they knew it was going to go up because they did it themselves. And
yeah.
some people made some money and some people really didn't.
Mhm.
There was that kid who made like almost $1 million, and instead of like spending it on himself, he spent it on Nintendo Switches for a children's hospital. You
That's
know,
nice. Good for
yeah,
him.
he was just like, I made a lot of money off a joke, so whatever.
Nice. Right. Good for him, dude. Fuck. Um.
I mean, yeah, if I got like 8 million or something like that, like if Doge ever hit like $1,000 and I made like 8.3 million, I'd get rid of most of it.
hmm
You know, what I'd probably do is I'd put a chunk of it away into a savings account. Don't
What about a don't panic private jet?
panic private jet. Yeah, that's very anti-capitalist of us.
No, don't panic tour bus.
Okay. Yeah, where the front of the bus is actually your face and like the lights of your eyes, and
Don't panic. Ah!
yeah. um no, but no, I'd probably put it away in like a savings account, because if you put it, if, let's say you even put like 1 million, right,
Mhm.
into a savings account that yields you like 3% APY. I
Yeah.
mean, that means you're just getting 30K a year just out of interest on top of your income.
That.
I mean, if I did that, I would work part time, and then I would just make 30K on top of that. I would I would chase my artistic dreams. I don't know what they are, but I would chase them. I'll chase something. I'll chase somebody.
Dude.
I'll chase someone's child.
you. No, bro. That's honestly all you got to do is chase something. Probably not a child. That I feel like that's chasing charges, and we don't need that. But you got to chase something.
Yeah,
But
Chase
out
Bank.
Chase Bank. Anyway, now that we've gotten some of the fun lighter things out of the fucking way, let's talk about uh No, Flash, you can't. You can't be on the podcast.
Hold on, here we go. Ready for this shit?
Holy shit! That cat is cute as fuck. Flash.
You can't even see her against my shirt. Oh my god.
All right, hold on.
This is what the pod has turned into.
This is the don't panic cat moment. Flash, look.
Yeah. Come on, Dinah. Ah.
You gotta help get her little.
The claws. Look, it's a cat. It's a little. Nope, she just wants to climb me.
Oh wait.
I got a good picture of her face.
I wonder if he hears her meowing, he'll react.
Hey.
Come on, kitty.
Oh, he looked at the screen.
Nice.
No, he doesn't care. Flash is too low key to care. He's too chillin'.
Yeah. Big chilling cat hours.
Yep. So, all right, here, I'm going to hand her back.
Come here, Donna.
There you go. Fucking biscuit.
Oh my god, that cat is so cute, dude. Cat moment over.
You wanted to talk about the infrastructure bill.
Yeah, no, well, you brought it up.
Okay. So we did talk about the infrastructure bill a little bit last pod. We talked about some of the details of it. So what's happening right now is it's kind of fluctuating based on different demands. So one of the things that's changed is we're looking at a corporate tax rate of 25%, which appears to be a bit of a compromise with the Republicans from the Democrats. Which, look, the way I view that is we're at a 9% corporate tax rate right now.
Right.
So it's got to go up. Like,
absolutely.
Price is way too low. You gotta,
what's way too
low? Your price is... Oh, no, never mind. Shit, I got the lyrics backwards.
I was like, what are you talking...
Your price is way too high. You gotta cut it. Yeah, I got it backwards. Like, your price is way too low.
Way too low. They need to raise it.
They need to raise it. Yeah.
Wow, that was
the whitest thing we ever done.
That is, yeah. That definitely feels like a.
Are we gonna do an acoustic cover of a hip hop song now? Or?
I need to get a ukulele first.
Oh yeah, I need to get like something weird, like a harp.
Yes, a harp. No. A cajon, like what one of those drums that you sit on and like. But you
I got even better. A kazoo.
Fuck yeah! All right, so I'll learn like 3 chords on the ukulele, and then we'll play that song. You use the kazoo. Somehow we'll make it work. I kind of.
Your price is way too high. You got to cut it.
Your price is way too high. You got to cut
high.
Too high. Anyway. Yeah, no, the 9% corporate tax rate is pretty low. I'm pretty sure, what was it, like maybe in 2018 and 2019, we had some companies paying negative tax rates where essentially we subsidized them. You know what I'm saying? They got money from the American people.
Thanks, Trump.
That's great. If you played World of Warcraft, guess what? You're not only paying your monthly subscription, but you're paying for it with your goddamn taxes.
You're paying for Blizzard too.
You're paying for Blizzard and WoW. Wow, that's a deal. What a deal.
What a deal. No, so it would take it from 9% to 25%, which I think is decent. It should be higher, right? But yeah. I mean, it can't stay at 9%. So under Obama's first term, it was 35%, and then in the second term, it was 28%. So
Obama, I'm just like an 80s Republican Barack.
Pretty much.
No, that's what he said.
Oh, yeah. Well, also pretty much anyway, because I mean, everyone thinks of Obama, not everyone, but like Democrats and liberals and Republicans think of him as this like left progressive politician because of the ACA, but the ACA as it is designed was actually um, what do you call it? Propositioned by Mitt Romney. I mean, as Romney care through and through, which means a pretty standard middle of the road Republican is the one who came up with it.
Right. So yeah, throughout the compromise, the Republicans ended up winning, and they fucking bitched and moaned the entire time. It's crazy. I hate it. It's good cop, bad cop. Fucking, I hate the Democrats. Fuck them all.
Yeah, but you've seen their state of the Republican Party now. Anyway, they call guys like fucking Mitt Romney communists for not falling in line with the Q agenda.
Oh yeah, no, like the Republican Party is only a few steps away from a Nazi death cult. Like the evangelical Trump is God, anyone that deviates from the plan as a commie thing it's wild. They're gonna eat themselves. Uh,
They are eating themselves. They pulled I mean, Vosh kind of pulled the Republican Party
mm.
on Eddie.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like that. That was weird. He like called him a tanky and shit. Which
Yeah,
isn't,
well, he kind of referred to anyone who disagrees with his stances as a tanky, and I'm like, I don't know about that, man.
That guy. Vosh is he's annoying.
Vosh kind of became like, I feel like he was very genuine and very good in the beginning, but he kind of felt like now he kind of feels like his opinion means a little bit too much among leftists, which isn't really the point of our ideology.
Yeah.
Like I stand Hassan, but for different reasons. Like, I mean, more about the fact that he's kind of base. He says things that like a lot of other creators wouldn't say, and because he's super fucking hot and he could like choke the shit out of me.
This is true. He could pick me up and cradle me like a baby. It's very possible.
He can't
I've
keep
done
getting
the
away
math.
with it.
He can't keep getting away with this. No, but like, Vosh has definitely made some really, really strange missteps in his like argument strategies. I think that there's a whole CP argument that he does that I am not a huge fan of because like while logically I can kind of you can kind of argue anything, but should you? And more recently there was a reference to the Korean War and just American imperialist violence, or just like American army violence, whatever you want to call it, but just being like, yeah, fucking, we dabbed on them, and I'm like, bro, that's just kind of not what we're about. Like that's weird. That is a weird thing to like. I don't know. I don't like referencing comedians from the 80s because they usually have shitty opinions. But like fucking nationalism, Doug Stanhope does this really, really good bit about nationalism where he's like, where he talks about how people are like, oh man, fuck the French. If it wasn't for us, they'd be speaking German right now. And he's like, we didn't do shit. We went out and got fucking hammered last night, ate a bunch of pizza, and then passed out on my couch at 5 a.m. We didn't do shit.
You mean if it wasn't for the Russians? Because the Russians are the ones who beat the Germans.
This is also true.
The U.S. involvement in World War II is like
minimal at best.
In the European theater, everyone's like, "Oh, well, the Pacific theater." I'm like, that's a whole other thing that could have been avoided.
Yep,
we didn't need to do that.
We didn't. But beside the point though, like just the idea, like one, yeah, it's a counterfactual idea that like we won World War II, like as in the United States won World War II. And when people say like we, what I mean, like you didn't do anything, I didn't do shit.
That's like saying we when you refer to the Eagles, like you don't play for the Eagles, you're not on the coaching staff, you watch the games.
Yeah, exactly. We paid for tickets to sit on our asses and eat hoagies. Well,
I didn't even do that. I watched the games illegally.
I was working at a bar, so I got to get paid to watch the game. It was really fun.
Well, I'm sure they paid you $1 less an hour so they could pay for their TV subscription or some shit, but
that's definitely true.
But I think something that a lot of people on the left also forget is like, yeah, Vosh is like cool and he makes a lot of really good points, but he is like a self-described like libertarian socialist. So he's not all the way there, at least in like parallel thinking with us when it comes to like economics and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
he's definitely got some views that are not exactly. It's also just sort of the way that he engages with you know uh ideas that aren't Western kind of framed. I don't know.
yeah,
It's very strange. I feel like there is like just a like I could respect to a degree the idea of like a dirt bag left and like being edgy, what I'm saying. But like the more that I think about it, just the idea of one being like sitting here and being like, yeah, man, I kind of believe in communism. I believe in the eventual trajectory of humanity to be a stateless, moneyless society that doesn't really give a shit about how many hours you put in at Mickey D's, so you can get a sandwich. And that's an edgy idea. Like it's really, I don't need to be disparaging to any particular group of people. If anything, by widening the scope and asking to be more inclusive in thinking, you know what I mean. You uh, elicit a pretty violent response from people, like the majority that is, you know, um, threatened by these very like what to us seem like innocuous statements like, hey man, maybe
maybe housing should be free.
housing should be free. What the fuck you think
How are the
people?
how are the landlords gonna make any money?
Who's gonna, how's the real estate agent gonna make $1 bajillion off of the commission?
It's like there wouldn't be real estate agents. Well, I
There,
mean, there could be in the sense because the way I view it. I'm
luxury,
sorry.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
I was gonna say luxury housing. There's still a malleability of the housing market and the idea, because there's still, even if I feel like if we housed all the homeless, we'd still have more houses than people, and people are gonna want to move. Like honestly, there are times if I had the fucking money, I would move houses like every 6 months just because I want a different setup. You know?
yeah. No, I think like a base level of guaranteed housing that gives you enough space for the size of your family, regular amenities like you're talking kitchen, bathrooms,
Mhm.
etc. The point where you're not living in like some like totally packed squalor, you know, is that's fine. And then if you want something nicer, you want a house, you want a townhome, you want a luxury condo, that's on you to buy, you
Yeah,
know.
dude.
But
Save your UBI checks.
yeah, exactly. But no, I think and there are commentators on the left, like Hassan, that are that kind of edgy, like Hassan, we deserved 9/11 piker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Like
that's
that's edgy. The difference, I think, is that Vosh is a little bit too much like Reddit neckbeardy about it. Like he's very much so like I'm better than you and I'm smarter than you, and here's this statement, and you're a tanky if you don't agree with me. And here's this statement that's very controversial and maybe a little bit derogatory.
right.
So I
No,
think that's sort of the poor point in it's the way he also approaches debates, and why some of the people on the left like him is because he's almost sort of very much so like the people on the right, or in the sense that he kind of overpowers when it comes to debates. He's very patronizing, he's condescending, he's very much so like matter of fact, like these are the facts, and if you disagree with that, well then fuck you, you're dumb. you
yeah,
know
it's more of an intellectual like domination situation.
yeah.
And I think it's really interesting because when met with um more like he spoke about like Marxism and liberalism, and how like Marxism isn't a rejection of liberalism, right? When it is. And he
Mhm.
said that Marx was an evolution. This dude Hakeem talked about how he just reframed it and was like, hey man, the things that you sort of pushed and the quotes that you used misrepresented X, Y, and Z, blah 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 blah. And in that, his response was also sort of like condescending, that sort of domineering, oh, you're challenging me, sort of response. But then when they sort of spoke, um, they were able to find a bit of at least a cordial understanding of one's point. But I think the issue is that it took two sort of snarky responses back and forth before it got to the, hey man, you said these things and I don't think they're quite correct. You know what I mean?
I think that's part of the reason why I like Destiny a little bit more than Vosh at this point. Even though,
Oh, he bothers me.
I mean, I think it's because of the way he goes about it. Yeah, I mean, he's self-described as a social democrat. He's a capitalist. He's classic liberal. That's all self-described. But I think the way that he engages and does things, I mean, he had a whole thing where he sat in a panel and openly debated with the Hodge twins.
Oh God,
Like,
those that
and he
see.
definitely won.
Yeah, but I think that there is a level of like intellectual like masturbation just in the whole debate bro thing. While I can appreciate things that Destiny can do, like he talks very fast. He packages information very quickly, and he's able to suss out bullshit. But I also
Yeah,
think like if you look into there
he's very
was a
knowledgeable.
yeah, I think he's really good at like googling shit because I'm really good at googling shit, and I feel
Right.
like, but he's like way faster with his fucking fingers. He types shit real quick. He's always like,
Well, he was a StarCraft gamer, so
oh, yeah, oh fuck that, holy.
that's how he got famous. He played StarCraft too.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, of course, his fucking typing speed is high as shit. Then, anyway, but beside the point. He had a debate, which I think is a really really stupid way for him to engage. But I guess um, Richard Wolff was just trying to, um, you know, utilize the platform. But he had this debate with Richard D. Wolff.
Uh
Richard,
huh.
yeah, and Richard Wolff is a Marxist economist. He runs Democracy Now. He
Yeah.
is like anti-capitalist guy, constantly doing lectures. He talks very slow. I put him on 1.25 every time I listen to him.
He's an emeritus professor of economics also, so he's like
Yeah, he's
very
a
knowledgeable.
very knowledgeable dude. He's not just like some guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you know what I mean? He's got all the things that signify an elitist intellectual. You know what I'm saying? Which is great. But so he's talking to Destiny, and the thing is, there is this sort of uncomfortable. Um, it's almost like gives you whiplash when you listen to the two of them speak. Separately, because Richard Wolff is very much like, oh, you've got to factor in the context of this. How does this work? He's a professor, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
he's teaching while he's talking, and at the same time, the concepts that he's speaking about are so very complex. Like even just explaining, I keep trying to figure out how to like frame dialectical materialism and talk about it because it's such a fun one. It's a fun word to say, and two, it is a very very interesting framing of reality, but it's so complicated that I start getting distracted as I'm like, and this is kind of how it works, and then you go this way, and then I'm like, you know it breaks my brain. But it's very long-winded stuff, and you have to have patience to go into it, and Destiny is frantically typing and like trying to like sort of pinpoint what is sort of illogical, but without sort of that was a loud noise outside. Um, uh, like responding without fully absorbing the idea. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, it's helpful when you're in a situation where you're dealing with somebody who's arguing in like bad faith, or if you're trying to compete. But if like someone is just like really thoughtfully being like, okay, and this is the thing that I'm doing, and they're really like genuine, it rattles the pacing. But I don't know, you should check it out if you haven't watched it. Have you watched it?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch a ton of Destiny content, but
Gotcha.
I was just saying, like, I'm not saying he's like great. I just think that like he's kind of taken the not he's kind of like moved up the ladder on, and Vosh has moved down
Mm.
based on how Vosh has engaged with leftists, and I think that there is a bit of a fucking like you describe like intellectual masturbating when it comes to debate. It's like the same idea as like guys who go to the gym to flex. They're in the mirror, they're like, oh god, it's
Mm.
like that, but it's with like how big my fucking brain is, and I will have to show it off to the world. And the best way for me to do that is to mind dominate somebody else.
Mm.
Which
Mind domination.
yeah,
Mind
mind
crush.
yeah, which your favorite fucking commentators like Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder do. They just do it against college kids because they know they can win. You know,
Right.
but that's another reason why I fucking like Hassan is because he doesn't engage in debates. He's just like, fuck that. Why do I need to do that? I'm gonna go on Twitch and make fun of you,
Yeah,
and
I'm
that's
just gonna
that.
watch. Exactly. Just observe and report.
Yeah. I'm not once ever going to engage with Caitlyn Bennett, but I'm gonna pull up her videos on Twitch and call her a fucking like pant shitter.
Exactly. Poopy pants.
Pooper
It's
pants. Yeah.
perfect. It's perfect, and it keeps them at a certain level because I think that there is um an unfortunate amount of legitimizing that happens to bad ideas when people who are seen as uh high end, I don't know, big brained fucking public intellectuals. You know what I'm saying? Anytime like someone talks to Vosh, they're even if they're a fucking big time doo doo headed scrub, like if they've got like say 5,000 followers or whatever, and all 5,000 of them go check out Vosh's stream, and then they're just like, damn man, our big head dumb boy doo doo head is now validated by the fact that Vosh said something to him, and now
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's a whole thing, and
Yeah. TikTok politics is maybe almost like the worst of politics or
it.
online social.
Oh no, it is. But just like I mean, online politics in general is a fucking like it is very strange. Like it's really really weird to know that like one of the pseudo leaders of the alt right is a dude that is really into cat boys but can't be open about it because of the political place that he essentially lives in.
Huh.
Yeah. Like Nick Fuentes, I'm pretty sure like yeah, he's the fucking America First guy. Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
yeah. So
Speaking of that, sorry, can we also talk about the fucking Hodge twins and the 3%ers? And
actually, so you're gonna have to update me on that because the Hodge twins, I'm sad about them. Them and the third Hodge twin guy, all became like fucking weirdos
so
after a while.
I don't really want to talk about them too much, but just the how funny their fucking social movement bullshit is. The 3%ers and the 1776 movement about how like when America was established and retaking like independence from tyranny and all that. But I'm like, bro, you're all black. Like you wouldn't have been free in 1776.
Yeah, dude. Like
Like
what?
that's weird. That's weird, dude. Like why are you fucking standing like slavery?
You're those guys definitely wrote the Declaration of Independence, and were like, we believe all men are created equal, except for the black ones that built this country.
Different black people, women,
Women,
gays.
the natives,
Yeah.
gay folk, the Chinese. We definitely don't like the Chinese, so they're not equal. You know what I mean? Like they had to amend shit to
Yeah.
like give people basic human rights, dude. I don't think you really want to revert to shit back in 1776, Hodge twins. It's just not. It's not in your best interest.
Last thing I want to talk about is another thing among like fucking conservative political TikTokers who were all sharing this article, this quote of Joe Biden that's like, no amendment is like set in stone, right? And they're like, he wants to fuck the
Oh,
Constitution. And my whole thought to that is like, yeah, bro, that's why they're called amendments.
yeah, dude. You
Like,
can. They've made changes before. You know what I mean? Like prohibition happened.
yeah, it's fucking. fucking
It,
galaxy brain, fucking.
conservatives, I've seen this point being made over and over, but conservatives just don't like this country. You know what I mean? They don't like the way that it is shifted. They don't like the way that policy changes. They don't like the fact that, there are literally more people who are perfectly fine with two dudes getting married, and having guns and smoking pot. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, that's social progress. That's the antithesis to conservatism. I
Yeah.
mean,
They're just like, please make it stay the same. I don't like change.
yeah, I mean,
You
it's all
know?
very properly defined between progressivism and conservatism and like social change and stuff like that. And then also like collectivism versus individualism. That's like really like the major differences we talk about between left and right. But
Mhm.
political TikTok is like, I swear, I fucking like I go on there just to get fucking purposely triggered by absolute idiots. I don't know why. Like there are
Oh.
some creators I like. Like I mean, I like Eddie. You know,
Mhm. Oh yeah, no, there's some.
Good Trouble isn't bad, even though he's pretty liberal. But I like the way he approaches certain things. Typical Democrat also, whatever. But he's a little young. But I still think that like he's like pretty well put together for like what he's presenting.
I
So
think
like,
there that I think some young people. I'm not a fan of typical Democrat, but I do like Eddie, obviously. But I was gonna say, just like people on the right, it's very strange because they've gotten very much to a point where like it's either oppression fantasies, right?
mm,
Where like fucking I saw this one woman, it was a whole production. She had fake blood. She used
I
all
know.
of
Yeah.
the yeah, you've seen that one. It's a
Uh huh.
good one. It's crazy. There's also these
Say what you want, brother. I'm ready to die tonight. Ah!
that's
Yeah,
the one. That's
that's
the
the one.
one.
And then she's talking about getting the fucking chip. Oh no, like you know that if you don't take the vaccine, you'll be killed. She's like, I'm ready.
I'm
Oh,
ready.
oh. She's got the ketchup. Oh god.
Exactly. It's magic. But I was gonna say there's the fake oppression. There's also the this is what liberals do. This is what how conservatives do it, and it's like conservative walks up to a tree. Oh wow, what a nice tree! And then liberal walks up to a tree, falls into the tree. Oh my god, it's oppressing me and it's trying to hang
Yeah.
me. And I'm like,
This tree
guys,
isn't gender fluid. Like,
yeah, I I'm like I'm not trying to be I'm trying to work on being like ableist, so I don't want to infer that they have some sort of
deficiencies.
mental health problems or anything causing this, but I maybe they're delusional. I'm trying to find the right language because it's like where where does this version of the people you disagree with exist in reality? I would like to know.
Well, no, you know what it is. It's the same reason why there's no good conservative comedians.
Yeah, they
They
can't.
can't fucking write like funny shit. Like it's the same joke. You know this. You know what I think is hilarious to me.
Hmm.
There's this running joke on the right that's the left can't meme, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
That is the right's only meme. is that leftists aren't funny? Tell me another meme that's not fucking that fucking frog. I can't remember the name right now.
Pepe.
Pepe. Tell me a fucking right meme that is it Pepe or the left can't meme. Fringely, very fringe, maybe like Pinochet and helicopters. But like, is there a substantial conservative meme that isn't those two things?
I mean, there's the attack helicopter, but they've had that joke for 5 years. They've run that one
Yeah,
into the ground.
it's been longer than that. Oh, I identify as a fucking.
Could I identify as an Asian man? That's their favorite one. It's a good one.
I mean, you can come to Chinatown and we'll sort that one out. How about that?
That doesn't work. Um.
No, as in like he's gonna get fucking jumped.
Oh, true. That
Yeah.
works.
He walks around
Uh,
going like, "Oh, look at me," you know.
right. But no, there's very very little to it, and it's very strange.
Not a lot of
Like I
complex thought going on over there.
no, I'm pretty sure there's still is there still a QAnon Trump's gonna surprise be the president for real this time?
It's
Date?
dropped a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's dropped a little bit. Only now, of course, a lot of them are refusing to believe it. But I'm gonna have to look at it again because I don't remember any of the names. But like this guy and his dad basically kind of admitted to being Q by accident on like an interview,
Cool.
and his dad is like this like known pedophile who's like on the run from the U.S. government, living in the Philippines. But basically, the whole entire thing that came out about QAnon was it was like a social experiment for conservatives about how, like what they'll believe and how far they'll go, and like who they'll demonize. So like it's not 100% confirmed, but I have to look into it again. I will drop the info to you. But
So
it was an interview with this person. Like I saw it very briefly. It was an interview with this person. He accidentally dropped the like, oh well, we did is referring to Q, instead of like Q did, and it was like a slip of the tongue.
yeah,
And the idea he was talking about how like QAnon is like a basically the idea behind it was like a test. It was like a litmus test for like how reasonably far can someone go until they're just completely full blown like radicalized.
Jesus, that is, jeez.
And I think there's been a lack of Q drops since that interview because of that.
So, wow, that's not damning at all. Um, is so what you're telling me is QAnon, the rabbit hole that has made a bunch of basement dwelling conservative wahoos believe that they are part of a government, um, a rogue government operatives um,
To take down
campaign
a
to take down a pedophile ring within the government of a cabal of pedophiles who are. Do they have the adrenal gland thing and like vampire blood and stuff and drinking babies?
you're asking someone who I don't know. I didn't subject myself to like learning about all of that.
See, like I don't want to say that like QAnon is the craziest of the shit that I've seen on the internet, but holy God,
It's
there is
it's
some.
it's up there only because the idea behind it is at the point of it is to convince people to believe that it's true. Like there's crazy shit on the internet that's just like, oh well, this is just like crazy shit, and that's just it. But
Yeah,
this is like, I mean, QAnon is like the idea is like this is all true, like, and
yeah.
you're
No,
supposed to believe it.
it's an alternative reality game, but they're also telling you this is super real.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
for
like it
serial
sounds
guys.
ridiculous to us, but like the whole Jewish space lasers thing. I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene fucking thoroughly believes that to be the truth.
Oh,
The way
she
that we
is.
believe 1+1 = 2 and 2+2 = 4, and that the sky is blue, and that the Holocaust happened, she believes that that's a physical thing. You know,
Which is,
and
isn't
how that's
she?
incredibly hard to change. Like someone who
What's
thoroughly
her
believes.
What's her role in the government again? Is she a senator?
Yeah, she's a senator.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, or a congresswoman because she's not in the Senate. I believe she's in the House.
I'm running for Congress. Vote for me.
Yeah.
If she can do it, I can. If Jewish space laser lady can be a congressperson, I can be Congress.
Or if Lauren Boebert can get elected without a high school diploma, you know?
I have a high school diploma and almost a bachelor's degree. So
Yeah. I mean, Madison Cawthorn basically rolled into his position, so
no, we can't do that anymore. Mm-mm. No
it's
bueno.
too it's too easy.
No,
Um,
saying that's no. You got to be more creative. That's why we can make fun of him for being a piece of shit. We shouldn't make fun of him for being in a wheelchair.
oh whatever. Dan Crenshaw has one eye.
Well,
Um
you know what? Listen, I commend the soldier that took out fucking Dan Crenshaw's eye. Good
he's
for
a
you.
hero.
He's a fucking hero.
All right. So we're at like 58 minutes, so you want to take us out here?
Ba, 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 da. Ba, 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 da. Ba, 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 da. Ba, No, thank you for joining us on the Don't Panic Podcast, episode 25. We are in our quarter life crisis of the show. It's amazing. We're probably going to get ourselves a motorcycle and get forklift certified because that's what you do when you're 25. Check us out on Spotify, Anchor, iTunes,
Apple Podcasts,
Apple
Google Podcasts,
Google
anywhere that you can
Podcasts,
get podcasts.
YouTube. Also, you can check me out on the TikTok at Dance Praxis. R.I.P. Comrade Jewel.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. You've been great. But yeah, check out
TikTok,
Jed.
Dance Praxis. I don't really do a whole lot of political content outside of this, but I do a lot of creative content. You can find me on Instagram at VX_Jedi. I do photo, video work. I'm a streamer. So, yeah, let's
If
hang
you're
out.
entertained here, check us out there, But have a wonderful day. Thanks for tuning in and listening to us gab.